Denard Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs to bring you the action. Let's go down to Davey about a practice injury.
We're down here on the starting gate before the first 250 moto. The rider's on a parade lap, but one of the favorites is missing. Actually, he's at the hospital right now. It's Kevin Wyndham of Team Yamaha. Now we're joined by Bob Oliver from Team Yamaha. Bob, what happened to Kevin in practice?
Oh, on the very last lap of practice, he landed off the bigger jump and caught the end of his toe, and it pulled his foot off his peg, and apparently has cracked his small bone in his lower leg.
Is that going to end the season for him?
We don't know just yet. The doctor said 6 weeks, but Kevin's young and he heals fast, so we'll just have to see.
It'll be interesting to talk to Kevin when he gets back to the track as we look at the 250-point standings. Doug Henry leading by 43 points, the biggest lead he's ever had in a title chase, despite those 125 times he picked off earlier in his career. Henry loosening up right next to him. The hottest rider on the tour right now, Jeff Emig, #1. Emig has won 3 in a row after the sweep at Troy, Ohio, in the last race.
You got Jeff Emig right there, who gets all the hole shots. They got them all last year. Henry has been getting them all lately, and Morocco doesn't get any.
If you're in these areas, boy, check it out. The last 3 races of the year, Millville, Binghamton, and then the finale at Delmont, Pennsylvania, Steel City. We're just about set to get underway. The board goes sideways. There's Emig and Henry side by side. Let's check out the start. Here at Washougal, the 250s are underway. Henry with a good start. But on the inside, it's Brian Spud Walters. He gets his first hole shot and moment of glory. Boy, it looks like a cavalry charge.
Emig got closed out right away. Henry got out good, moved to his right, closed him off. It was smart.
David, you can see visually now, if you get a bad start, how tough it is to break away early in this pack.
There's Emig going by right there, just stuck. Can't go anywhere. It's like starting a 10K or a marathon about 8,000 people deep. You can't run as fast as you can because there's too many people in the way. So look at Doug out there, clean track, second place. Jeff Emig rather, just going by right there. So it's going to be tough for him to work his way up now.
So the attack starts from Doug Henry on Spud Walters. Walters has been in 2 previous main events, the first 2 of the year. His highest finish was an 18th in the very first moto at Glen Helen.
Still got the lead right here, but he can hear Doug right back there behind him.
David Henry's starts have really helped out his chances in the points race, haven't they? They've really protected his lead when no one was really willing to make a charge in the points race.
Well, guys are trying to, but he goes for the lead right there. And once he gets out front, everyone's forced to do all the hard work. Puts all the pressure on them while Doug's just out cruising in front. Sometimes before they get a chance to make up all that ground, they get caught in a pile up or go down, and then it's even worse. So Doug's just been getting out clean, the smartest way.
2 hole shots in the last race at Troy, Ohio. In fact, he's got 4 hole shots in the last 3 events. Let's go down to Davey.
Pete, an excellent start for Doug. He's starting to pull away already. Yeah, Doug was a little bit nervous coming into this race. You know, I drove with him from the last race to here, and he had really talked about gearing himself to win this event because we know we just can't sit back and wait for Jeff Emig to come up here. But with Doug having such a, you know, he's got a little bit of a lead, it'll give him some chance to settle into the track at a pace and calm him down, and if somebody comes down to chase him up, I think he'll be ready for the battle.
Since Budds Creek, Doug Henry has not scored an overall victory, but he's moved his points lead from 28 to 43 points. Here you see our leaderboard with Henry, Lusk, and Albertine, the top 3. Koikita also in the top 5.
Well, now Lusk worked his way right through traffic, got himself into second.
In front of Koikita.
Yep, clear track up to Doug. I'm anxious to see now if Lusk can close that gap. He was pretty fast in practice. This is the kind of track, though, where somebody like Lusk, very aggressive, gets on the power. That power and that 2-stroke, as compared to Doug's bike, really hits hard. So he could get himself in trouble here today if he goes too hard.
Lusk, Koikita, and Albertine as we look back in the pack, and we'll be back with more 250 action.
It's the biggest motorcycle engine on the planet. 6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 1,520 cc's. one custom motorcycle in the world can cruise like this. The Valkyrie from Honda.
How long has it been?
About 10 minutes.
Honey, try not to look so desperate.
If we don't get this house.
Their real estate agent was smart.
Don't worry.
We just gotta look cool. You know, calm.
She not only helped them find the perfect home,
That's not calm.
she helped them find the perfect way to get it. She put them in touch with Countrywide Home Loans before they even started looking. Countrywide gave them an approval on the spot. It was fast and easy.
Why does the husband look so nervous?
So with Countrywide's upfront approval and protected interest rate, their offer was the best.
Oh, here she comes. I can't bear it. But I look cool, right?
Right. We got it.
I knew it.
For a branch near you, call Countrywide at 1-800-EASY-877. Countrywide. Easy, really.
Please do not cross ropes. Do not use key.
Introducing the only compact import truck with 4 doors. The all-new Mazda B-Series Cab Plus 4. V6 power.
Whoa.
Gentlemen, would you like to take home some literature?
4 doors.
Welcome back to Washougal, where Ezra Lusk is in second place in front of Greg Albertine. A good points battle there as Albertine has slipped from second place to third in the points after his performance at Troy, and Lusk has been putting on. He got a podium spot at Troy with a 4-3, racing well after adjusting to that broken arm.
I like the way he got to the whoop section too, Art. Following Lusk. Didn't look like he lost much time, but he had a timing through there, jumping to 3 at a time. I always like to try to find a timing where I could do something the same every lap, instead of just coming in there and going, oh, okay, here we go again. Just roll the dice. He's staying pretty close to Lusk right here. Hard to tell right now if these guys are making or losing any ground on Henry. It seems to be staying about the same.
Henry trying to pull away. Whoa! Lusk fishtailing right there. Did a spray job on the crowd.
That's that power I was talking about. That bike hits so hard. I mean, it's good power, but it's so much. And on this slick surface, you see some powder and you think, oh, I can just nail it right here, and then it's real slippery underneath. There just got away from him a little bit.
Our leaderboard, Larry Ward, slipping into the top 5, and Lance Smale. Doug Dublock, some names from the past there. Smale, good 4-stroke rider. Greg Albertine in third place, fighting to get back and try to make a nice push contention-wise as the season winds down.
They're still in there. I mean, both these guys have a chance at this title if Doug makes a mistake. Right now, Doug is kind of out there in a weird place, really, Art, with that big lead. It's like, how do I attack this? Do I just really go for it or be careful? I think the answer is keep doing what you've been doing. As soon as you start to change things, you lose that rhythm.
Absolutely. He's been amazingly consistent, never out of the top 5.
He's won a couple of 125 titles and a 125 Supercross title, so he's not a stranger to winning titles. He knows what to do, but this one's different now. It's against a lot of different riders. It's been a long time since he won a title, and this one's 250 class. Means probably a little bit more to him, and he's got to be a little nervous.
Lusk with 1 win on the season, and Albertine has 1 second place and 2 third-place finishes, but has yet to take an overall victory this season. Into the whoops.
He's charging through. Yeah, I don't think he could go through there any faster than that. That was amazing. Look at the gap he got on Albertine that time. That was just perfect. And you really got to commit. When he went into that section, he's just wide open.
The 125s were slipping a lot right there in that mechanics area, whereas Albertine goes all the way to the berm.
Yeah, if they're going out and using it, anytime they can use a wall, cushion, these bikes hit a lot harder. You see, as soon as that berm ends right there, that's where he left that big stripe there on the gas. It's very difficult to read the soil. That's a tough section right there. Where they throw in a bunch of people. Yeah, they dig up a few holes through there just to make it interesting. try to get the guys to go out and use another line, but everyone still goes right through those holes.
Well, you can just see the roost of Henry in front of Lusk. Lusk is picking up space on Doug Henry now.
I think he's picking up the space, and Albie's hanging right there with him. There's his mechanic getting ready to give him some inspiration.
Here we see number 4, Larry Ward, trying to pick up on Koikita. Koikita gaining some valuable experience before going back to Japan to battle in the Nationals there. He's improved steadily this season.
He's gotten some pretty good starts, too. That helps. Anytime he can get up and run with these guys, learn quite a bit. Back there in 20th doesn't help.
Yes, and Larry Ward, not interested in learning from Koikita, makes a quick pass.
Yeah, see ya. I got to get up there and dice with the leaders. Still early in the race, you can see him, especially when you drop down out of the woods right there. You got this S-turn section right in front of you. You got to be pretty far behind not to be able to see the guys just ahead of you going through that S-turn. You kind of get a read every time you drop down if you're gaining or losing time.
Larry Ward, with a couple of second-place moto finishes this year, takes the berm around the big sweeper. Our team with a second overall here last year as we hit our Suzuki flashback. Guess what? It's from last year. Jeff Emig and Jeremy McGrath battling it out in the first moto, but it was Jeff Emig victorious. His 14th moto win of the year. And it was this day in Washougal that would end up Jeff Emig with a 99-point lead. And the #1 plate the next race.
This race was really the turning point the year before. Handed Jeff the points lead, which he eventually went on to earn that #1 plate right there. And this year here, just padding his points lead and on his way to a second title.
A good getaway in the second moto for Emig. Weather conditions very similar. The track looks like a lot ruddier.
A little more hard packed to the woods section. And you can tell by Jeff styling for the fans that it was another easy race. Picking up another win for the sweep.
It would be Albertine with a 2-2, and then Jeremy McGrath would pick off the 3rd overall. As Jeff Emig comes down for the checkers in the second moto last year. Right now, he's battling in 5th.
Not too bad either, considering how far back he was on the start. We saw him go by. Look at the time he made up through there. He made up about 5 bike lengths on Koikita. And that's the whoop sections is actually where he had all his, that's what got him started off on the wrong foot in the Supercross season. Eventually he hit the deck and sat out the remaining of the season, as a matter of fact, to get ready for the Nationals through those whoop sections. He kind of had the mental block.
Yeah, the psychological. Whoa, and he slips out on that very slick Washougal track. Jeff Emig picks up, has to start all over again, it seems like.
That's the section where I just talked about Albie coming out of the corner, that berm ending. You're still laid over, and all of a sudden there's nothing for that back tire to grab a hold of. So this is not the kind of moto Jeff wanted to have, coming off 3 wins. Let's take another look what happened. He lays it in. Everything's looking perfect here. Then the berm ends. Loses that wheel, but watch right here. See this hand on the clutch? Keeps the bike running. Sometimes it's just important to know how to crash. So he doesn't lose much time. He gets right back up, doesn't bend anything. He's back in action.
Oh, it just goes to prove it can happen to anyone. Here you have the winningest Kawasaki 250 national rider of all time with his win at Troy, Ohio. That gave him 1 more win on a Kawasaki than the great Jeff Ward.
That's saying something, because Jeff Ward raced forever. And he stayed with the Kawasaki team the whole way. It wasn't like he switched around. He wasn't able to rack them up.
14 wins on a Kawasaki, 1 on a Yamaha for Jeff Emig as we check out our leader once again. Doug Henry, how's he hanging in there, David?
Looking pretty good still. He's got enough of a lead where he can relax, take the lines he wants to take. He's squaring things off. He's doing things a little bit different. And I talked about in the 125 class, being able to go out and use the cushion, make a pivot, and then gas it in a straight line. Anytime you're in a straight line, you can be a lot more aggressive and not worry about the back end getting out away from you.
This is the same track that Doug Henry got his very first 250 moto win on a Yamaha back in 1996. He was 11-1 for a 4th overall. We'll be right back to check him out a little bit later.
The weather is right to take off on a Honda motorcycle, ATV, or scooter, and the place to go is Loudon Motorsports and Power Equipment, Loudon County's only motorcycle dealership. Come on in and check out our wide selection of Honda dirt bikes, sport bikes, and cruisers, as well as Honda all-terrain vehicles and scooters. Loudon Motorsports also features a wide selection of motorcycle accessories. Bring any challenge to our Honda certified technicians and they'll conquer it. Loudon Motorsports and Power Equipment, formerly Hall's Honda, can make your dream of owning a motorcycle come true.
The Auto Gallery in downtown Leesburg is the family place to shop for a quality used car or truck. The Auto Gallery has a wide assortment of high-quality, low-mileage vehicles. Go ahead, give them a close inspection. You'll be amazed at how clean, solid, and roadworthy they are. Trucks tough enough for any job. Low-mileage minivans to transport your entire family, and the perfect first car for a son or daughter. The family-friendly dealer, the Auto Gallery in downtown Leesburg.
Old school is vintage. And Pelo's teenage genius does the rest.
The red, white, and blue ball, that's old school.
Roberto Clemente.
It's gone for a home run for Roberto.
I'm old school, like
Mike Singletary's eyes.
Fair Five is old school.
Porsche 917.
Jackie Robinson.
Twilight doubleheader.
Walter Payton. JoJo White. That's old school.
Joe Frazier, old school.
An explosive left to the drive. Muhammad Ali goes down.
All right, dude, you want to be old school? Call the number.
Welcome back to Washougal. If you're just tuning in, Ricky Carmichael sweeping the 125s in dominating style. And right now, as we join the action of the 250s, Moto number 1, it's Ezra Lusk starting to put some pressure on Doug Henry.
I'll be right there with him still, following him the whole way. I like that. He's been patient. Usually in years past, you see Albie trying to go for the win, get everybody all at once, go down. Here he's been smart, letting the race come to him. These guys are really starting to close on Doug Henry. He kind of held it for a while, but losing ground now. Once you get close like this too, it just really starts to snowball. Everything unfolds because the pressure, everything changes. Doug starts to ride different because those guys are there.
Well, Henry's gotten the whole shots. For instance, at Troy, he got a whole shot in both motos and ended up a 5-2. He's been patient enough, though, for the points race to hang in there and not drop way back.
Oh, even if he drops way back in this, which would be to third, let's say, that's not too bad in terms of the points chase. And he'd be disappointed, like to win the race, but shoot, I'd rather win the title.
So would Doug Henry. Doug Henry, though, still in good position as he comes off the Chuck Sun jump.
And just motoring around that berm around the outside. We saw Larry Ward go around there before he went to break a little while ago. Those guys are, I can't believe how fast they're going around that wall. It didn't used to be there when I raced. I wish it would have been, because that inside berm was never any good.
It's a fast track, very narrow in spots.
It's good, though. I mean, it's a beautiful track. It's just one of the ones I didn't do well on, so therefore I kind of didn't like it that much. But I mean, look at it. It's in a beautiful setting. A lot of history here.
And today, in the distance, you might be able to even see Mount Hood from this beautiful area in the Cascade Mountains. Doug Henry, Ezra Lusk, and Albertine are top three. It's been pretty consistent. Ezra, though, has picked up the space on the leader.
You can see Ezra now looking like, to me, he's being a little bit more patient, really cruising through these corners. Just knows he's going to get them.
You know, that reminds me, over the last several races, David, Lusk has had to deal with battling Henry, which means what we called roostitis.
He's getting good at it now. You can see he's taking different lines in certain spots whenever he can. He's completely on the other side of the racetrack. As long as he doesn't lose a lot of time, and the crowd's really getting into this now. Three-way battle for the lead. Looks like really cheering for Albertine, too.
Yeah, after Troy, he came in, of course, on her interview and said, hey, I got a pound full of dirt in my mouth after following Henry. But, boy, take a look at his face before this race, and he has little pellet-like scabs all over his face, one on his nose, on one on his lip. One almost went through the bottom lip.
I've been hit here on that uphill he just climbed with a rock in practice. Knocked the lens out of my goggles. Had a black eye. Wrapped up the title that day, but that's how the day started off. Pretty nervous. Tight battle with Rick Johnson, and I'm sitting there with a black eye and fat lip.
There goes Jeff Emig. Well, when he went down, he got back up at about 15th position. It's also good to see number 10, Ryan Hughes, back in the top 10 as we go back to our leaders, Doug Henry and Ezra Lusk. It has been this way for the last several laps. Lusk just looking for the right opportunity. Gets up right on the back rubber of Doug Henry, and then Henry pulls away.
You can see right here, Lusk is being so patient, being so smart, inside, outside, staying right on his tail. That really bothers you. When you got a guy that close and you feel like, geez, he's going to get me anywhere if I make any kind of mistakes. And it just forces you to be so precise and eventually you make that little mistake. So far, Doug hasn't made any.
Earlier in the season, Doug Henry cracked a little bit under some pressure, made some little mistakes, but he's doing great right now. Let's go down to Davey.
Mike, Ezra's closed up considerably on Doug. I saw that time you told him to breathe.
Yeah, I just said, don't want to put too much down there. Just trying to remind him to breathe and keep loose. Maybe he'll get him in the whoops the next time.
Yeah, it's coming down to that, the whoops. You think that's where he's going to make his pass?
That seems to be the place he's making up the most time. Seems like it, so that's right before the finish, and hopefully he'll get him before then.
Dangerously waiting for the whoop section there. Let's hope it's not on the last lap if you're a Honda fan, right?
Now they're coming right up to it.
Lots of mystery.
I talked about before, I don't know if he can go through that whoop section any faster than he has, but Doug recognized that and picked it up.
Absolutely. And we noticed Jeff Emig has moved into the top 5 from 15.
It's a pretty good ride. Didn't start off too good for him. He had to work his way all through the traffic, then went down, kept it running, didn't lose too much time, but had to work hard this moto. It's funny, he's gotten some moto wins this year that are probably a lot easier than this one, and this one's going to be maybe a 5th at best.
This is incredible, the way Ezra Lusk has been able to hold the pressure on Doug Henry, and Henry not crack. Henry's taking his own lines, makes up time at different parts of the course, and Albertine is right there in 3rd should something happen.
Yeah, it's kind of two ways to look at it. For Lusk, I thought it was nice to see him have a little bit of patience, know there was time enough. If he caught Doug that fast, then he'd be able to find his way around. Whoa, fish, that's no big deal. That just so much forward momentum doesn't really cause any really problems. It looks a lot worse. But what happens is you stay back there and you give the guy in front of you a chance to respond to the areas you were making time. And Doug has done that, especially in the whoop section, and now Ezra doesn't really have any more up his sleeve.
Let's go back down to the pits now, and Davey Coombs.
Ian, everyone's watching this battle between Henry and Ezra, but your boy's right there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe something happens and he can slip right by. That would be great.
That's the kind of moto Greg's probably used to. He's been doing a lot of passing, jockeying back and forth all year, but he needs a moto win here today. Can he do it?
I hope so. He does need a moto win to put him up in the points, and I'm hoping it's going to be here because it's good for his confidence for the last 3 races too.
Ian Harrison, a good friend and mechanic of Greg Albertine since the World Championship days. We'll be right back.
At a standstill, it might be compared to other sport bikes. At top end, it might be compared to other sport bikes. But at each and every mile per hour in between, comparisons become insignificant specks in the mirrors. The TL1000R, the only one of its kind on the track, from Suzuki.
If swollen legs or low back pain bother you, if you return home each day feeling tense and tired, then get free facts by mail about the amazing Craftmatic Model 1 bed with soothing, heat, and relaxing built-in variable speed wave massage. Call a helpful operator now to get this free information kit and $200 off rebate certificate by mail. Call right away. There's absolutely no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-344-8300.
NFL Tonight on ESPN2, Tuesday through Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Now, guys will have something to talk about.
Time Time running out on Ezra Lusk. He's been able to keep close. There's your white flag. The final lap is underway with Doug Henry in first place, Ezra Lusk on his back tire, and Greg Albertine in third. Henry has not had a moto win in some time. We have to go all the way back to Budds Creek, the last moto at Budds Creek. Can he hold on? Ezra Lusk has tried almost everything in the book up until this point. What's left in his bag of tricks? I don't know, David.
Just that strong last lap he has, it applies so much pressure that may be just enough to force Doug into a mistake, but Albertine's still right there. He's the one with a chance. Nothing to lose. Both the guys in front of him, they're protecting first, second. They don't want to give anything up, but Albertine, he could blow it somewhere, trying something really different, and probably still hang on to third.
Doug Henry with the good advantage as they go into the trees.
This is when it's really exciting. Your heart's pumping, the adrenaline's there, you're nervous. Sometimes you got to race a half hour just to get to this point. It's this moment. This is where it all counts. This is what makes champions.
And experience really pulls them through.
Yep. You just have all this doubt in your mind, too. You're trying to tell yourself good things, and in the back of your mind, you're going, no way I can hold this guy off another lap with this much pressure. And somehow you get through it. It feels good when it's all over with. It gives you a lot of confidence and experience for the next time.
Henry hitting the precise lines. That smooth power band. You can see just hooks up on this track beautifully out of the turns. He goes wide on the berm that time. Lusk comes to the inside, but has a little more slippage.
Well, Lusk, you could look at, maybe he could have just come all the way from the inside completely to the outside, put on kind of a dirty move. Other than that, I haven't seen an opening. We see Lusk getting a little dance there.
They're getting closer. The triad of riders, the top three. Can Henry hold Ezra Lusk off? He makes the turn into the whoop section. This is where Lusk wants to make his move. We got a lapper up front. Henry, though, plays it smart. Puts the throttle down, and Henry will take the checkered flag. What a great victory for Doug Henry after an outstanding race from Ezra Lusk. Greg Albertine in third. Larry Ward holds on to fourth, and Ebbing will place in fifth after going down early. Doug Henry, a much-needed victory. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Doug, that was a fantastic effort. Congratulations on the win. I know it's been a long time coming since you got back on the scoreboard.
Yeah, as far as the top goes, yeah, I've come close quite a bit, but, this is only one moto. There's a lot more to go, so I just tried to do my best out there, and I ended up winning, and I'm real happy with that.
What about the pressure you're getting from both Yogi and Greg Albertine? They were all over you the whole 35 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I knew those guys were right there, and I was just trying to ride my own race and focus on myself and, not make any mistakes. Made a couple out there, but, it's not too bad for a 30-minute moto.
All right, congratulations, Doug.
Thanks a lot.
Ezra Lusk, number 3. Yogi, also in a good position to get that overall. Let's go back to Davey to hear from Yogi.
Another moto spent eating a lot of dirt from that big four-stroke. This time did it hurt as bad?
No, it didn't hurt as bad, Davey. As you can see here, I got hooked up with a little bit of face mask, and it might not be my favorite color, but it helped a lot. And I just, like I said earlier, I thought I had him set up in those whoops that last lap, but I jumped in a little too far and messed my momentum.
How'd the arm feel in that moto?
It really didn't bother me that bad. It was, it's like a constant throb, the whole time. It doesn't really get much worse, but my grip is what it really affects the most, and it felt good out there then. I need to ride a little bit more once it gets healed and get my conditioning back up to where it was.
All right, we'll let you grade for the second moto. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A fine performance by both Doug Henry and Ezra Lusk. Our next telecast from Millville. Hope you can join us then.
Line up every ATV Honda has ever built, and they would stretch from our factory in Ohio to the deserts of California. But in 28 years,
Ricky Carmichael, well on his way to breaking records, is gunning for his second consecutive AMA Outdoor National Championship. With the late season challenge is Robbie Raynard, blistering the tracks, stealing some of the glory from the defending champion. The veteran John Dow, trailing the leader at one time by only 10 points, never finishing out of the top 3, has taken a fall from the limelight. With RC out in front of the 125 field, is there anyone to stop the Carmichael Express? The 250 points battle has been diminished by injuries. Team Honda's Ezra Lusk, an example in courage, battling through a dislocated shoulder and broken arm. Emerging as the man to beat, the sentimental favorite, Doug Henry. Henry, who's seen his championship hopes in the past stolen by injury, is on the verge of his first 250 outdoor crown. Lately, though, the hottest rider on the track has been a rejuvenated Jeff Emig. Emig has won 6 of the last 8 motos, keeping Henry honest in the waning weeks of the 1998 season. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting round of AMA Motocross. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs from Millville, Minnesota. As the 125s get ready at the gate, here's one of the big challengers, Robbie Rayner, trying to psych himself up for the start, David.
Trying to knock some of that sand loose from his visor. Sometimes you put your goggles on, some of that gets in your goggles, and you don't find that out until you go off the first jump.
Michael Brown, who's raced extremely well lately, was number 100 as we take a look at the Suzuki point standings. Ricky Carmichael dominating as John Dowd has not done well in the last couple of races. Casey Johnson, a very consistent third. It was in the last round at Washougal, Washington, a 1-1 sweep for Carmichael, gaining his 15th career 125 victory. That puts him in 3rd place on the all-time National Outdoor win list.
It was perfect in the first moto, starting another streak of wins, his 4th moto win in a row since being beaten by Raynard, shown here at Unadilla.
Raynard put the challenge on in the 2nd moto at Washougal, took the lead but slid out, and it was Ricky Carmichael making it 5 straight moto wins in a row for the veteran John Dowd. Another 7th place after the 7th place in Troy.
And Art, you can see the disgust in John Dowd as he walks back to his bike slowly. Can't seem to do anything right.
Ricky Carmichael, the victor. Let's go down to Davey at the gate with Ricky.
Down here on the starting line before the first 125 moto. Ricky, you got 5 in a row. Can you keep it going today?
I'm going to try to, Davey. The main thing now is the championship. So I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to try to get a good start and try to pull it off.
Oh, that sand out there, does it feel like home?
For sure. That's some Florida sand. So I'm happy, and this track's like home, so I should do good.
All right, good luck, Rick.
Thanks, Davey.
The Millville track gets better every year. As we take a look at the Suzuki track map, you see in the top right of the screen, the monster whoop section's going in and out. Well, it's not going to make that 180-degree U-turn. They've added another little twist in there just to make that a little tougher. And also the big downhill double jump. That's been the talk around the pits. Very blind approach, and the landing is straight down. That's going to take perfection today.
Sandy soil makes things interesting even at the start as we take a look at John Dowd, number 9, and next to him, Honda of Troy's number 100, Michael Brown. Ricky Carmichael looking at Steve Lamson's 125 records for wins in a season and consecutive wins in one campaign. He wants to keep those streaks alive here today. Looking forward to the first moto as the board turns sideways. We'll get underway with moto number 1 any second. They are off. Ricky Carmichael, whoa, somebody popped there in the back as Ricky Carmichael gets a rare hole shot. He gets fine starts, but rarely do we see him get a hole shot. I believe this is the first one of the year. Right there is his teammate, number 20, Casey Johnson. Tim Ferry also there. Christopher Gossler on Steve Lamson's bike. Robbie Raynard not too far away. It's Raynard making the push now. He moves into 3rd.
You see right there, Raynard working his way into the picture, but he's still got to get around Carmichael's teammate to challenge him. And there's the whoop section. This is the new section they'll be heading into. Adds that lap time. Makes it about another 10 seconds longer.
A jump and then a real tight, critical left turn, as you see there, going into more whoops.
Already Raynard starting to challenge Casey Johnson, and Christopher Gossler's got riders all over his tail.
So we have Carmichael, number 1. Number 20 is Casey Johnson. Here comes Robbie Raynard, number 21 on the Primal Suzuki. Raynard just couldn't get by Johnson that time.
Raynard going for a tear-off already. This wet sand builds up on your lenses. If you're anywhere in that roost, it just ruins your vision right away. He's got to get around Casey Johnson as soon as possible. Otherwise, Carmichael has that ability, especially with the hole shot, to just disappear.
And especially on this track, David.
Anytime I rode on a track, even if I didn't particularly like the layout, if the soil was something I was used to, you can just tell by the color of it if it's good traction or not. There goes Raynard.
Robbie Raynard giving it a try against Casey Johnson. Johnson trying to hold him off. Johnson signing with Yamaha of Troy for next year. A terrific six-figure contract. Robbie Raynard, he's still up in the air as to where he's going. There's all kinds of rumors, David.
It is the silly season. Plenty of options out there. A lot of 125 rides available, and even some rumors that the big guys in the 255 are starting to move around quite a bit, and that really changes everything from there on down.
Well, Raynard could end up a teammate of Casey Johnson's over there at Yamaha of Troy.
It's possible. If he keeps riding like he's riding, he may end up on a full factory team.
You know, their positioning right here, David, shows a lot of maturity in Robbie Raynard's performance.
Well, he's got to be patient right here, too, Art. He really hasn't had this opportunity to be in second and already in the race. He got the fastest two riders in this 125 class, 1 and 2 at the end of the first lap. What Raynard's got to realize here is not make the same mistake he made at Washougal, where he just had taken the lead and crashed. Give it all up.
And a great ride at Unadilla, where he won the first moto and took third in the second moto. Carmichael looking back to see as the two pull away from the field now. Taking a look at the Suzuki field summary, Carmichael, Raynard, Johnson, Ferry, and Brown are top 5. We'll be right back with more Moto 1 125 action in a moment.
Introducing the redesigned Suzuki King Quad with a tough new look. A 3-speed sub-transmission with super low range and locking front differential, shaft front drive, and integrated rear drive. Fully independent front and rear suspension with oil damage.
Hey! Fishing here. A little quiet. Do you mind?
The 1999 King Quad, just one of the redesigned Quadrunner ATVs from Suzuki. Right now, get a free Vanson ATV jacket with the purchase of selected Suzuki ATVs.
I love working here. It's exciting, feeling like we're changing things for the better. At Zurich Direct, there are no surprises. You call us and we give you a free quote on high-quality term life insurance with no strings attached. And these rates are up to 70% less than what some other insurers charge. I mean, why pay more than you have to?
Hi, thank you for calling Zurich Direct. This is Wendy. How may I help you?
It really is simple.
Well, Mr. Madden, you're 42 in good health and you don't smoke? That's great. A 10-year, $250,000 policy is just $23 a month, and your rate is guaranteed.
Everyone has questions when they call in. They want to know they're doing business with the right company. You'd be amazed how many letters we get from people just saying thanks.
Well, you can choose a 5, 10, 15, or 20.
Coverage can start in just a few
Sure,
weeks.
I can help you with that. I'll just...
Absolutely.
I think everyone should call Zurich Direct, but then again, I'm probably a little partial.
Call 1-888-566-TERM. Zurich Direct, a unit of Zurich Kemper Life.
If you added up all the hours you've spent boring out cylinders, building strokers, and setting up suspension, you'd have graduated from MMI by now, and you'd be getting paid for doing what you love. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
AMA Motocross is being brought to you by Honda, maker of the world's most powerful custom motorcycle, the Valkyrie. And by the new line of Mazda B-Series trucks. Mazda, get in, be moved. Action for Moto number 1, Ricky Carmichael with the lead, but Robbie Raynard, number 21, putting the challenge to him.
He can be patient. I mentioned that already. He can be patient, but then again, you don't want to stay back there too long because sometimes that guy in front of you starts to not really worry about you too much anymore. You can kind of get a feel for where you were making time, make those corrections, little changes out there, the lines, and you never can get by.
If there's one 125 rider who needs a ride for next year and hasn't signed for one yet, but who has made an impression in the last few races, it is Robbie Raynard, number 21. You might have to put Michael Brown in that same category, David.
Yeah, both those guys have shown a lot of potential in this series, but all eyes are on Raynard right now as he's challenging Carmichael.
Going to the outside, Robbie Raynard. Can he come out with more power? Barn to barn. Robbie Raynard has taken the lead once again on Ricky Carmichael. Boy, he's been able to provide the excitement for the fans, that's for sure, as Ricky Carmichael has simply dominated the points scene.
didn't surprise me to see Raynard getting by Carmichael for the lead right here. He did that at Washougal too, but then he went down. All the difference is here today, he has really done well here in the past, this Millville racetrack. Look right here, Carmichael is going to get into this inside rut. Watch, he gets all out of control, speed come off the pegs. Meanwhile, Raynard had that outside line where he could just be a lot more aggressive in that soft stuff, made the pass. See Carmichael looking over. He's already looking back saying, oh, we're gaining on third, so I don't really need to worry about whether I get passed right now, as long as I'm ahead at the end.
To the mechanics area, and Davey.
Vector, we saw you right on the board, running hot. That's a bold statement.
He's just got to try and get in front of him, because Rick is very strong, you know, and obviously Robert's got a good line through the whoops. And there's a lot of track left after the whoops, so he can't leave it till the last lap. He's got to try and put some distance on Ricky right now.
How motivated was Robbie after he fell last week while winning at Washougal?
Oh, he was so mad at himself. He's just now got to get out there. He knows he can do it. We're the only people who can push Ricky around right now, and we intend to do so.
Robbie Raynard, who played bridesmaid to Ricky Carmichael throughout the entire Supercross season, came into this outdoor season, David, with one thing in mind, and that's I don't care how many times I'm runner-up, but I want to beat him one time. And you can see that in his performance here late in the season.
You can see by the battle that they've got amongst themselves how much distance they've opened up over third.
On the Suzuki stopwatch, we'll check out the intervals for the top four. There you see Casey Johnson and Tim Ferry, the fourth rider, is 19.25 seconds behind the leaders.
Pretty early in the race.